It's been a while since I've done this, so I might be a bit rusty, but this is the post-Renaissance ranking for the Disney animated films from this era. Ranges from 2000 to 2008, and it's considered a dark era, and it has two of the worst Disney films ever made, well, at least in the animated aspect. These films are very weird and don't really, are more like, what were they thinking type of films, because the Renaissance, they all felt like they had a clear, they all felt similar. These films are very not traditional. They moved away from the traditional, more traditional musical style and just did whatever in this era. But this era does have a lot of films, as you can see, so this is going to be, I guess, a longer video. So let's get into it. So we have 11 films, and number 11 is Chicken Little. Chicken Little is one of the worst films I've ever seen, and it's one of the worst animated films of all time. I know a lot of people have talked about how bad this film is. This is their first CGI film, well, technically speaking. There's one other film on this list that's kind of before it, but it's kind of weird. This film is really, really, really bad. It has pretty bad CGI. It has pop culture references that are outdated now. It just has a mean spirit. There's a lot of people who reviewed this, and they kind of went into it, but I don't like it, but I don't have a passionate hate for it. I watched it as a kid. I didn't like it as a kid. I liked the video game, though. You ever play the video game? I like that better than the movie. The movie sucked. Like, the characters aren't very interesting. The reason you like Chicken Little is because everyone else is an asshole. But even then, I still don't like the character. So, yeah, Chicken Little, not surprising that at the bottom, this is a rotten egg. Just skip it. Number 10 is Home on the Range, the film that killed 2D animation. So, I mean, it has that going for it. Other than that, this film is really, really, really bad. Like, I'm not even kidding around. It's fucking horrible. This film is just honestly, you can, I feel like I can watch this with people and make fun of it. One of those films. At least it has that over Chicken Little, which is why it's higher. The animation is really not very, it's very subpar compared to what the Disney should look. They made the Wild West does not look that interesting. I mean, I've seen how cool it can look, but they made it look pretty bland. It looks this doesn't feel like a Disney film, is what I'm basically saying. It's like one of those direct to DVDs, like films like Dougal, a 2D animated version. I know Dougal's 3D, but it has a similar tone. It's about a cow and two other cows who try to get a criminal who he yodels. Like, they could have made a cool villain, but they said they let's have the guy yodel and have a psychedelic hippie. Like, what were they thinking with this film? There's also musical numbers in this, kind of. All of them suck, like, a lot. Apparently the earlier versions were the version for earlier versions of the draft were a lot better. The villain's original plan was a lot more interesting. Like, the original version, the villain literally takes all the cows and storms the lighthouse. I mean, that sounds really cool. I mean, that's a way better idea than just, I don't even know what the hell the guy's, he's buying land. It's boring. What's the motivation? The cows, let's get our farm back. This farm, we don't even care about the farm. Get that, this film, man. This isn't one of those films people go into a lot, so that's all I have to say about this film. Just skip it. It's utter crap. Number 9 is Dinosaur. This is another pretty bad one. I did not know how I was watching it the whole time. This is some of the worst CGI ever. I know it came out in the year 2000, but it looks bad, and there's nothing of substance to this film. Disney made another. This is one of those films, one of those dinosaur films where the dinosaurs talk, and every dinosaur film they always think, oh, this one's gonna be like Fantasia, the Fantasia scene where they don't talk, but then it always turns out, oh wait, they are talking, and these dinosaurs are butt ugly. Like, what the hell designs are these? This dinosaur thinks he's a monkey, and the monkeys are like, what? I was laughing the whole time, but unintentionally laughing, because this was really, it just looked bad. I was making riffs about it to myself because I watch films by myself because I have no friends, but that's a sidetrack. The plot just I mean, it's I don't remember what happened, but I think the plot is one of the most basic plots. It just, dinosaurs, Moses, the egg is found by monkeys, one of them's a love monkey, and then they had to run away from the meteor, and that's pretty much it. This film has really nothing going for it. The beginning's really funny, but the rest of the film, once they start walking, is boring as hell. It has entertainment value, which is more than I can say about Chicken Little or Home on the Range. This era is not going off so good. But let's see what number 8 brings us. We have Fantasia 2000. This is the first one that actually has something of value to it, so that's at least that. Fantasia 2000 has like it's just not that memorable compared to the original Fantasia. It has one reason why I actually put this a little lower than. I actually was going to have this number 7, but I put it lower than the next film because they reused Sorcerer's Apprentice, which I think is incredibly lazy. Like, why would you even, like, why? Okay, just make me remind me of a film I could watch instead. It's not a good idea. So yeah, that was a pretty that was a pretty bad idea in my opinion. Some of the shorts are pretty good, but like a lot. This is a film you got like. I'm not a fan of it. I wasn't really a fan of original Fantasia. I liked it though. The problem is like a lot of times like. I want to do something with my hands. This is one of those films you gotta watch, and it's like it's long too. I'm just like not. It's like I like watching the individual shorts by themselves. It'll be fun, but like having them all together, it's like feels like it's just like a long marathon. That's what I feel about these shorts. But I do love these shorts. They're just not as good as the original Fantasia. Number 7 is Brother Bear, Nature Calls, and this one is every time I think about it, I don't like it, but every time when I watch it though, I remember I would like it, but I don't love it. The intro part where he's not a bear is pretty good, and I wish the whole film was like that. When it becomes a bear, it's just like one of those road trip animated films, but not a good one, like a really bad one. There's an annoying kid bear, and it's really not that bad, but it's nothing really of substance. At least the animation is good. The reason why this film is, is, like, there's some really there's, like, some, like, weird, pop culture references that just don't work at all in this film. It's, like, when they do, like, weird Pinky swears and the Kid Bear's annoying. But the really reason why he's here because of Phil Collins. I know he was in Tarzan, but here he's insufferable. I hate Phil Collins and his annoying ass voice. Get the hell out of here, Phil Collins. I'm on my way! Get out of here. Number 6 is Bull. Hey, I'm John Travolta, and I'm a dog. Bull is, pretty mediocre. It's John Travolta, he's a dog. John Travolta is a dog. Anyone want to join Scientology? That's enough about John Travolta. He sings at the end, too. Like, what the hell? The Credits song, he sings with Miley Cyrus. Yeah, Bull is, I don't even know what to say about Bull, to be honest. There's, like, one part I can criticize, but let's talk about Bull. It's about a dog played by John Travolta, who thinks he's an action star. It's the reason they need to make the dog believe he's an action star, even though I feel like it'd be easier just to have a trained dog, rather than having to go for all this trouble to make sure he doesn't know he's not. Like, okay. Like, dogs they emote, but they don't really emote that much, so it's kind of dumb. They waste so much budget, like, they made fun, the whole studio's thing just makes no sense to me, like, really, because the film is not, like, one of those, like, fantasy realms, it's the real world, pretty much, other than the talking animals, which the humans can't hear, so it's, like, pretty much as realistic of an animated world as can get, so some things just doesn't make any sense to me, and that's one of them. I mean, it would have worked if the dog thought he was an action star, but they didn't go all their way. The studio didn't go all the way to do that. That would actually be worked better, in my opinion, because it's like it makes the studio look dumb. I could have rewrote this. When Bolt realizes he's not special, or like it's really bad, like it just he's like, oh, whatever, I don't care. Like, okay, what? That's like, imagine they did that in Toy Story 1 where Buzz realized he's not a Space Ranger. He's like, whatever, I don't care. Like, that's not how you write characters. The cat and the hamster aren't even that memorable, to be honest. John Travolta's a dog, and he's owned by Miley Cyrus. That's all you need to know about Bull. It works better than Brother Bear, to be honest. That's why I have it higher, even though I'm not even sure. Well, that's Bull. It's going to stay at number 6 for now. It's pretty forgettable. Let's go to number 5, which is Atlantis, the Lost Empire. Some people love this film. Some people don't really care for it, and I'm one of those people who don't care for it, but I do like it when I watch it. I liked it a lot this time I watched it. The animation is pretty good, but not. Some people saying it's their favorite. It's not my favorite in the look of the animated film. Some of the side characters aren't very underdeveloped, and the main character isn't that interesting. But there's some cool, interesting worlds, like a little adventure to go down the earth. The villain is really bad in the film, to be honest. It's just one of those twist villains that comes out at the last second, but doesn't do anything when they're the twist villain. Atlantis, you go under the sea with a Marty McFly, who's a nerd. They find Atlanteans. I mean, it's interesting, but it feels like not that well. It feels like it could be developed more, if you know what I mean. I felt the side characters. It felt like I wanted to like them more than I actually did. But it's an entertaining watch. You're not gonna love it. Maybe you will, but hey, Atlantis lost an empire. Let's go on to the actual films that are actually worthwhile, and these are the good films. I think some of these are okay, some of them are bad, but these are the actual good films of the post-Renaissance era. Number 4 is The Emperor's New Groove, which is a film that, even though I have it number 4 and says it's a good one, is one I think is highly, highly, highly overrated. Mostly because I don't find the main character that likable at all. I mean, I think you're not supposed to like him, but I still didn't like the character even after he got quote-unquote redeemed. It's good comedy, but it's not my favorite comedy. It has some I actually would have preferred the original version they were going for, but then they changed it drastically to be the comedy. I mean, I know a lot of people love this film. I just never, it doesn't really grab me as much as other films do. I would say it's not even the funniest Disney animated film. I do like the fast pace. I just like watching the villains more, though, if I'm to be honest. The llama part, okay, he's a llama. Okay. Just, the guy's an asshole. The villains are more entertaining to watch, and that's Emperor's New Groove. It is a good film, though, and it has cool locations. And it's a pretty entertaining watch. I think everyone enjoys watching this film, but I'm not one of those people who love the film. Let's get into so I'm done being negative from here on out, because 3, 2, and 1, I have no complaints with them. Number 3, and I can't believe this film is number 3 because this film's really good, is Lilo and Stitch, going down to Hawaii. Lilo and Stitch is probably the most nostalgia I have for any Disney animated film, because I actually remember watching this as a kid. A lot of them, I just watch Pixar films. I didn't really watch the main animated films, which is weird to me. But Lilo and Stitch was one of them, because Lilo and Stitch is a good film. It has some great watercolor backgrounds, and it has one really great and touching story about a girl and her pet dog, who actually turns out to be an alien that was designed to be destructive. It's a weird premise when you think about it, but the characters are so well written, and in their connections about being a family it's a really good film. There's you actually feel, this is what a Disney film should be. You should actually feel emotions. The other films, I didn't feel anything. This one not only did have the great animation with some and the CGI is kind of weird, to be honest, but some cool watercolor backgrounds. It's just a nice film. I think pretty much everybody loves it. This is the breakout film from the post-Renaissance era, which is why they still market it a lot. Apparently they're remaking this film, and I am really pissed off about that, but what else? Disney's going to keep remaking all their films to they're out of them. Lilo and Stitch, I would say go watch it, but you probably already watched the film. Number 2 and 1 are very underrated films, and they need to be watched more. So number 2 is Meet the Robinsons. This is a film that I watched once as a kid and didn't think anything of it. Then I rewatched it. It's wow, this film is actually really good. Okay, the animation is nothing to write home about. I mean, there's some interesting concepts, but nothing CGI-wise. Just sometimes the CGI animation doesn't really impress me as much as traditional style. But it just does its job, but nothing doesn't go out its way to try to be something really amazing. But that's the only complaint I have with the film. This is a really cool film about basically finding yourself, finding your place, and not worrying about, or Just keep trying, I guess, with Everett the motto. I haven't watched these films in a while, I'm sorry. This is a really good film. Like, it's really hard to explain, but it makes you, like, it's one of those, I just don't know how to describe it, but it may look dumb. I mean, this, it looks like a typical, like, traditional, like, generic animated film that looks like, oh, they didn't put any effort in this, but they did put a lot of effort into it. The story and writing is really good in this film. You really care about the character, the main character at least, and some of the side characters. Some of the other side characters are pretty underdeveloped, they're just kind of in the background. But yeah, I just liked it, and there's a lot of cool twists and turns, and I find it very enjoyable. I think you should go watch it, because I can't even say more about it, because you give it away. And number one for me is easily going to be Treasure Planet. I remember as a kid I saw a trailer for this film, and I thought it looked really dumb, so I never saw it. And when I saw it eventually, I was like, whoa. This not only does it have breathtaking animation, it's a really cool retelling of Treasure Island, putting it in space, but it also has some great characterization, a great villain, kind of villain. It's an interesting story that you're kind of always on the edge of your seat watching. I love watching it, because I'm always like, this one's really good. Like, it's so underrated. You don't even know how underrated it is. I mean, you do, because you probably never even watched this. But seriously, please go watch this film. It's in case you want to know why you should watch it. Well, it's about this kid, and he has no dad. He has daddy issues. His dad didn't die, though. His dad left. That's a big thing for Disney. Usually the dad's, or mom usually, dies. He has a mom. And he's a troublemaker. He keeps surfing around. I don't understand the surf thing, but anyway, they find a map to this thing called Treasure Planet, which is full of treasure, and they go on a ship to find it. And there's hijinks ensues, and he eventually, main character Jimmy Hopkins. No, that was Jimmy Hopkins. No, Jim Hawkins. I was saying the protagonist of Bully for a second there. He finds a father figure in the chef there, but then there turns out to be big twists and reveals along the way. I'm not going to spoil this film because it's so amazing. I love this film. And that's going to be all for the Disney Post-Renaissance ranking. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the last era for Disney ranking, that being the Revival era, which will come out in 5 years because that's how long I take to make these videos. Thank you, and good day or good night.